What's crack-a-lackin'? Welcome in to My Mind is a Weapon Fantasy Football Show.
Welcome into episode 113, everybody. I am your host, SleezBall. Today's episode will be my tight end week 8 ranking tiers, top 32 all teams here. So before we dive into it, guys, make sure you smash that like, make sure you smash that subscription, turn that bell on. It helps me out a ton. If you want to check out my defense, kickers, quarterbacks, running back, wide receiver ranking videos before that, they are out for you. My goal is to get them all out before Thursday. Tomorrow, I will start my start of sit-ups. This is my last video of the day. I've been cranking today. And I'm going to give you defensive stats here to help with the tight ends. This position has been a nightmare for me all year long. It has been killer for every single person in fantasy football. Let's dive into it and try and tackle these tight ends, guys. So if you guys are new to the channel, this is my tight end week 8 board. Ballers tier at the top, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4, tier 5. We are going to go through top 32 tight end rankings here. At the bottom, these players, you'll see one is injured, Luke Musgrave. The other ones have fallen out of my top 32 rankings. So Noah Gray, Greg Dulcich not even being used in Denver drives me nuts. Chigakonkwo and Mike Gesicki are not on my rankings this week. Now, heading into number 1 here, this is probably going to be number 1 for a while, guys. George Kittle, diddle, down the middle, gets the Dallas Cowboys on Sunday Night Football this week. And what you have to like here with George Kittle is everyone is beat up. Every single person on this team is absolutely decimated. Debo getting out of the hospital. Ayuk, season over after getting a $30 million holdout contract. CMC still on IR. He's going to be the focal point of this offense. And you get the Dallas Cowboys defense here. The Dallas Cowboys on the season, they rank 11th versus the tight end, 23rd in the red zone. So high touchdown upside for Kittle there, giving up 35.5 yards per game. But when you're this athletic specimen of a yak monster that he is, he's probably going to see the best tight end volume the rest of the way here. I mean, it's crazy to say, even over Kels, I know that or Bowers, it's just a connection between him and Purdy that I think, and it's just growing and growing and growing. And Kittle has been absolutely dominating the tight end position. He's ranked tight end 2 right now with 101 points, only 0.4 points behind Brock Bauer, and he's 30 years old. So, I mean, this man is just so fun to watch, amazing football player. I'm probably going to have him in the top 3 the rest of the way. Number 2, right behind him, tight end 1 on the year, Brock Bowers, the rookie. Got 19.3 points last game. I mean, I even thought, I was like, man, him as a tight end 1, you know, maybe they'll focal point the defense on him. It's not going to matter. Even garbage time points will help with him because he's a rookie. He's never coming off the field. You get the Kansas City Chiefs here, guys. This is your pot of gold. The Kansas City Chiefs are worst in the NFL, 32nd, 17.5 points per game allowed to the tight end, 14th in the red zone, and they give up 83 yards to the position. And when I say 83 yards to the tight end position, that is literally second behind them is 67 yards. So it's almost 20 yards on average per more, and it's the Los Angeles Rams that are second worst behind them. Man, this is going to be an absolute gold play here for Brock Bowers this week. Number 3, sticking with the same game, Travis Kelce. Didn't have the Travis Kelce game I thought he would have. I don't know, Patrick Mahomes not being Patrick Mahomes. I don't know what's going on. It's become a run game in Kansas City, and I fear that that's what could happen here, but I'm still going to put him in the top 5. The Las Vegas Raiders are actually strong versus the tight end. They rank 9th. Allowing 8.7 points per game. They rank 11th in the red zone, so 39.6 yards per game, which is bottom 10. So it is a top 8 to 9 to 10 defense all the way around the tight end position. But what I fear is if Travis Kelce doesn't score early in this game, the Raiders are so bad that it could just be the Kareem Hunt show the whole way. But I'm still going to put Travis Kelce in my top 3 tight ends. Number 4, creeping up the boards week by week, Kyle Pitts. The connection with Kirk Cousins is growing. This matchup, guys, is absolutely beautiful for Kyle Pitts this week. He gets the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They rank 23rd versus the tight end, giving up 12.6. They rank 22nd in the red zone, giving up 2.7. And they give up 60 yards to the position, which is 3rd worst in the NFL. And I know they lost Mike Evans. I know they lost Godwin. The game may not be as high scoring as you think, but dude, he's still going to see a ton of volume. He's been averaging 6, 7, 8 targets a game over the past 3. And Kirk Cousins always makes his tight end good, man. Everyone fell off early. I told you guys the ship will steady out, and it is. And Kyle Pitts probably going to be my baller tier the rest of the way here. Number 5, Trey McBride. The Arizona Cardinals got their big win on Monday Night Football versus the Chargers last night. Couple calls went a little bad. I'm not going to lie about in that game. But nonetheless, they got the win here. this week the Arizona Cardinals are going to get the Miami Dolphins. And the only reason that I have him so high still, I love Trey McBride. He's my tight end one on the season. The Miami Dolphins are third versus the tight end. They only allow 6.4 points. They're number 4 in the red zone, and they allow 29 yards, which is 4th best in the NFL at the position. But Tua will be back in this game, right? Or supposedly, quote unquote. I don't know the official status yet. Looks like he's going to be back. But when you have Tua back, you're going to need to score more points and more yards, everything. Like the Dolphins are going to light the Cardinals up. They're going to be playing from behind probably in this game if Tua is back. And they're going to have to pass heavy. And who do they pass to? Trey McBride. I mean, Marvin Harrison has been struggling, guys. So Trey McBride is going to be a smash play for me, even in a matchup that does not favor it. Number 6, David Njoku. My smash play of the week last week absolutely hit head on that. You are going to have a little difference here, though. Now you got Deshaun Watson out for the season. You're playing the Ravens. The Ravens, you think when you play the Ravens, you're like, oh, well, the Ravens defense is usually top 10. They're terrible versus the pass all around this year, guys. Versus the tight end, they rank 28th, giving up 14 points a game. They are good in the red zone, though. They rank 9th in the red zone, so touchdown upside's a little lower, but Njoku's an athletic specimen freak, so don't even look at that number. And they give up 76 yards a game, which is second most. Oh, I said the Rams were second most. Sorry, Rams were third most. 76.6 for the Ravens. And they're going to be playing from behind. And you're probably going to have Jameis Winston out there, who's a gunslinger, who's going to take crazy opportunities, throw massive amounts of balls. And I hope the connection can get there with Njoku, because Deshaun Watson was getting a great connection with Njoku. I cannot lie. And he never really targeted his tight ends in his career. So it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. But the matchup is going to be nice because the Ravens are very bad, and they're probably going to be playing from behind in the whole game, and the pass volume is going to be phenomenal. Number 7, can this guy please wake up? The tight end one from last year, Sam Laporta. I mean, if there's ever a time, it's now. You just got the update that Jameson Williams, a 2-game suspension for PEDs. Can they finally get him involved in the offense here is the question, right? The matchup does not favor it at all. The Tennessee Titans are number 2 versus the tight end, giving up 6 points per game. They're number 8 in the red zone, and they give up 29.5 yards, which is top 5. But again, you're playing a juggernaut offense with weapons everywhere, and they have to get this guy involved. The only thing I'm afraid of in this game, if you watch my other videos, is the Lions just blowing them out and pounding the run because the Titans offense is so bad. So I'm kind of tempered on Sam Laporta, but I'm still it's got to be a sign with Jameson out that he's going to break out here. Number 8, the matchup is gold. Dalton Kincaid gets the Seattle Seahawks this week. Him and Josh Allen are going to light up the Seahawks. They rank 25th versus the tight end, giving up 13 points a game. They rank 26th in the red zone, so the touchdown upside is there. And they give up 58.4 yards per game, which is bottom 10 in the NFL. And I know Kincaid's been kind of a floor play all year long. I'm hoping this is the breakout game. Hopefully Amari Cooper can draw Woolen and draw a little attention away from the Seattle secondary, their superstar corner, and get involved in the game. But I'm kind of looking at it like, if DK Metcalf doesn't play, could it be a thrashing from the Bills? I don't know. The Seattle Seahawks, the Bills' weakness is the run. So I don't know. DK's really a smash play either way, but I'm hoping that Seattle can stay in this game. Number 9, he's back. Mark Andrews. I told you to buy low on him everywhere. Look what is happening. It was never Isaiah Likely. It was always Mark Andrews. You got to realize when you're a superstar tight end and a backup behind him has a great game, that it's not going to be better than a Hall of Famer. This guy doesn't get injured. He's always a top tight end every single year. The Baltimore Ravens are going to get a Week 8 matchup. And Derrick Henry, man, the matchup, this is what scares me here too. They get the Browns, right? So the Cleveland Browns are number 4 versus the tight end, giving up 6 points, number 2 in the red zone, and 34 yards. So they're a top 5, 34 yards at tight end position. They're a top 5 defense versus the tight end all around. But how much offense are we going to get here? That's the question that I'm looking at in this game. I know Jameis Winston, I've wanted to see him for weeks. I've been saying it in videos. Deshaun Watson just looks disengaged from football. And now you got it. Well, we don't know yet officially, but I'm hoping that it's going to be Winston. And Mark Andrews is becoming the red zone look all the time. So he's there for a touchdown upside either way, no matter what. You got to worry about Lamar Jackson and Henry. He's always going to be open here. Jake Ferguson coming in at number 10, getting the 49ers here this week on Sunday Night Football. And like I said, the Niners are depleted. The Niners were good versus the tight end, but now we rank 15th, giving up 10.5. We rank 20th in the red zone, so there's a high touchdown upside for him there as well. And 40 yards per game, which is middle of the tier. And you know the focal point is going to be CeeDee Lamb. You know Tre'Davious Ward is going to be on him. Should be a decent game here for Ferguson, but you always got to worry about Fred Warner in the middle. That's one of the most dangerous things in football. He's the best middle linebacker in football. So that's why I have Jake Ferguson a little lower this week. I'm usually super high on Fergalicious. Number 11 coming in right behind him is Evan Ingram. I was so high on Evan Ingram popping off versus the New England Patriots last week, and it just didn't happen. It was one of those weird aberration games, I guess you could say. Now Jacksonville is finally out of London. They are finally headed back home. They are going to be playing at home also, Duval County right here. They're finally back with the fans. They got a big win, and they're going to be going up against the Packers. Now, the Green Bay Packers, if you watch my other videos, they're a great defense all around. But the one place they are not is the tight end position. They rank 24th versus the tight end, giving up 13 points a game. So Evan Ingram's going to be a smash play here. They also rank 19th in the red zone, so middle of the pack, still touchdown opportunity there. And 55 yards to the position, which is bottom 10 in the NFL. And you know you're going to have Jair most likely on BTJ. Christian Kirk's kind of been a shell of himself. This should be the focal point of the offense. We don't know if ETN's going to be out there either. Should be a heavy dose of Evan Ingram, like a 10 target when he came back his first week in week 6. That's what it should be here. Number 12, a actual great pickup if he's on your waiver wire right now. Great fantasy asset to have, all because of bad juju, I guess you could say. You lost Mike Evans, you lost Chris Godwin for the season, and look what happened as soon as they went out. So if you look back at that game, I know it's garbage time. They're down 10 points. They were down 20 points at one point. But if you look at that game, Kate Otten, as soon as they went out, 4 or 5 targets and 50 yards right away. Now they're not going to be here. Godwin's out for the season. Mike Evans is out till week 11. I mean, I know that it's not, I would say, sexy in any way, I guess you could use. They get the Atlanta Falcons this week. The Falcons are very good versus the tight end. They rank 8th. They give up 8.7. They rank 4th in the red zone. They have Simmons and Bates, the 2 best safeties up top. So they lock down that red zone very well. And they give up 43 yards. But volume is king, and he may be the number 1 target going forward till week 11 in this offense. So this is something you should be looking at and something you have to pay attention to, because he's going to be a startable tight end until week 11 and possibly further on. Heading down to tier 2 here, I thought about putting him very high. Tucker Kraft, I missed on last week versus the Texans. The Texans were very good versus the tight end. He made that diving catch, of course, to ruin my call on sit Tucker Kraft. But this week, he gets a great matchup, guys. This is as good as it gets for the Green Bay Packers this week. I mean, Jordan Love, Jacksonville Jaguars, every single category, the Jacksonville Jaguars are bottoming on defense: the run, the wide receiver, the tight end. They rank 27th versus the tight end, giving up 13.5. They rank 27th in the red zone versus the tight end, and they give up 54 yards per game, which is bottom 10. Tucker Kraft is another good play here. He's just always risky to me, as my dog says hi. Risky to me in the way of, you have so many guys out there, volume everywhere. You get Dontavian Wicks even saw 10 targets last week. Christian Watson was the guy that was left out. I like Christian Watson this week. Jaden Reed's always going to get his. He did nothing last week. I mean, it's just always hard to call. So that's why I always kind of drop Tucker Kraft lower here, even though I love the matchup. Number 14, Hunter Henry, the new Drake May security blanket superstar tied in, man. Tied in 6 on the year. Crazy to say. 17.2 points, 13.1 points in both Drake May's game. That is absolutely phenomenal for a tight end. He is getting looked at a massive rate. I don't care who they're playing. I mean, I'll pull up the defensive stats here for the game. But like I said, it's like a Kate Otten thing here. Volume is king, and this guy is going to get all the volume in the world. I mean, now Jalen Polk's on IR. I hope they bring out Javon Baker, my guy, my sleeper call of the year. Hopefully he gets out there. The Jets are even good versus tight end. They're number 10 on the season, giving up 8.8 points. They're number 1 in the red zone with 0. They're also 39.7. But again, I throw these numbers out the window because he's seeing massive volume, and they're probably going to be playing from behind in every single game they're in. And Drake May has opened up this offense. Number 15, and this one you have to pay attention to. I do not know if TJ Hawkinson is going to be playing. He practiced limited all last week. He's practiced today. He practiced Monday limited again. It is a short week Thursday. I could see them holding him out, but I'm going to put him at tight end 15. And if he was 100% healthy for this game, guys, this is your smash play right? The Rams are 31st versus the tight end, giving up 16.3 points per game. 24th in the red zone, and they allow 67.8 yards, like I said, number 3 on the season. I know he's going to be limited snaps if he's out there, so I'm not saying smash start him. If you need a dart throw tight end, you can throw him in. The matchup is beautiful. I just don't know how much he's going to be used off the injury. I mean, he's been out a year, so I mean, probably, like 40, 50%, 2 to 3 week ramp up here with him. But man, if he was out there at 100%, this would be a great matchup for TJ Hawkinson. Number 16, Dallas Goedert. The Philadelphia Eagles was missing him last week. They played Grant Calcaterra. Did not go well for Grant Calcaterra, but the Eagles rolled in the Saquon revenge game either way. Now you get the Bengals. If Dallas Goedert is out here, this is going to be a smash start game. I have this game as the over. I have it as the highest scoring game of the week. The points are going to be flying. I love every single player in this game. A.J. Brown, Saquon Barkley, Chase Brown, T. Higgins. I mean, all of them. Every single person. So look at the matchup versus the Bengals and the tight end, right? They rank 29th, giving up 15 points a game to the tight end position. They rank 31st in the red zone, and they also give up 56.4 yards per game and a 60% touchdown rate per game, 0.6. So very, very high chance for Goddard to score in this game, especially when you're worrying about A.J. Brown in the red zone. Devonta Smith should bounce back. I was low on Devonta Smith last week. That was an absolute hit, and I like Dallas Goedert in this game if he's out there healthy, so you got to make sure you check the reports. Number 17 is Cole Kmet, and I know he's tied in 3 on the year, guys, and he's through the bye, and he's still tied in 3. So he's put up astronomical numbers. I just don't like it in this game. So the Washington Commanders were a top 5 defense versus the tight end until last week. They got absolutely thrashed, and they dropped to number 14, giving up 9.7 points per game, 21st in the red zone, so the touchdown upside could happen there, 40 yards per game. But the Commanders really struggle versus the wide receiver. You're not going to have Jaden Daniels most likely. Their offense is going to be rattled. The Chicago Bears defense is going to be out there electric, getting healthy, getting Brisker back. And I just don't see a lot of volume for Kmet in this game. That's why I have him so low. Right behind him, number 18, man, I was surprised here. I thought Russell Wilson would come in and Pat Freiermuth would just be irrelevant because Russell Wilson never passes to his tight end. He at least got 7 points. That's not bad at all at tight end this year. So I'm going to keep him in my top 18. The Pittsburgh Steelers get the New York Giants on Monday Night Football. The New York Giants are top 7. They're number 7 versus the tight end, giving up 7 points. They're number 6 in the red zone, and their 35.1 yards per game is bottom 10. So they are very good versus the tight end position. I told you that front 7 of the Giants is nasty. If you watch my other videos, I talk about it. And I think Russell Wilson's going to be a lot of pressure in this game. I think it's going to be a different look from the Jets game that happened. So could be better Pat Freiermuth numbers here if, the Giants have the nastiest front 4 pressure. So, and the Steelers are shuffling the offensive line all year long. Injuries have killed their offensive line. So in this game, I could see Pat as a little more valuable, just depending on how that pass rush for the Giants looks, because it's going to be quick passes, quick passes, quick passes. Heading down to tier 3, I missed on Dalton Schultz last week. I thought he would have a good week. He had the Green Bay Packers. Just like I talked about earlier in the video, the Green Bay Packers are bad versus tight end. He did not do anything, neither did Diggs, neither did Dell. The Texans really struggled, and now you're going to get the Colts. And the Colts, it looks like another smash play for Dalton Schultz. I just don't trust it. I don't trust him anymore. I never trust him in the draft. I've only started to move him up because Nico Collins is out, and it's still not producing. So the Indianapolis Colts rank 30th versus tight end. They give up 15 points a game. They rank 32nd in the red zone. They allow the most touchdowns to the tight end position on the season, and they give up 54 yards, which is bottom 10. But I did this last week, and I said that Dalton Schultz would be a great play. I even put him on my thumbnail, and he still did nothing. So I'm not going to trust another great matchup with him. There's too many mouths to feed in the offense, and I think it's going to be the Joe Mixon show in this game. So I'm going to leave him at tight end 19. Number 20 is going to be Zach Ertz. The Washington Commanders probably going to be led by Marcus Mariota. I know Mariota looked okay, but that's the Carolina Panthers. So everyone looks good against the Carolina Panthers. The Chicago Bears defense is a different beast. They rank 12th. They give up 9.6 to the tight end. They rank 15th, middle of the pack in the red zone, and they give up 45 yards to the position. So, and what was weird was Mariota was targeting McLaurin like crazy. So even more than JD5 did. So I'm not, saying fully sit him. You can start him at tight end if you have to. I just don't like the matchup versus the Bears, and I don't think it's going to be a game where they're, feeding Zach Ertz kind of like JD5 did. Number 16, as interesting as it gets, guys. Jatavion Sanders, who I loved out of Texas as a rookie. has all of a sudden, I don't know if you could say it's because Deontay Johnson just doesn't want to play football or is just giving up, or I don't know what the hell's going on with him. But this man Sanders is having himself a season all of a sudden out of nowhere. So the last 2 weeks of fantasy football, he's had 13 targets for the tight end position. He's averaging 10.5 points per game and about 55 yards a game. That is what you want as a tight end in fantasy football. Hang on. I had some vitamin water. I'm getting parched on the long video. So he's starting to become relevant, and he gets an okay matchup, right? I know you might get Thielen back here. IR maybe activated his window here. But the Denver Broncos is my number one defense. I think the best defense in football, right? But where are they weak at? They're weak at the tight end. This is their only weak spot in the defense. They rank 20th. They give up 11.7. They rank 12th in the red zone, so they get a little better there. And they give up 46 yards, which is about middle of the pack. So it's about a top 15 defense all around versus the tight end. And with the volume he's seeing, he may be an okay dart throw, DFS, cheap play tight end because he's seeing crazy volume. Coming up after him here at number 22 is going to be Jonnu Smith, my sleeper of the week last week. Absolutely smashed that call. You can check the sleeper video if you want. Now you got Tua back, though. Now with Tua back, Tyler Huntley's security blanket was Jonnu. With Tua back, Tua has never really favored his tight end. I love Jonnu Smith's talent. I love everything about Jonnu Smith. But once you get Tua back, it becomes a Tyreek Waddle, A-chain passing game attack on the ground with A-chain. I just see Jonnu Smith being the guy that's left out in this, situation with Tua coming back. But he still could be a decent dart throw tight end if you need. Number 23, Noah Fant. Noah Fant has had back-to-back 10-plus games in fantasy football, guys. What? Noah Fant. I don't believe it either, but he's starting to get numbers. He's starting to move up my rankings, and I have to follow it, even though I've never been high on this guy. And now, think about it as what if DK misses this game? Chance for more volume for him, right? Even though if there's any player that can come back from a week to week, it can be DK Metcalf. The guy's built like the Hulk, man. But in this matchup, they're going to get the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills currently on the season versus the tight end position right now are ranking 16th, giving up 11 points a game. So not a bad play here, right? Especially if DK's out. They also rank 17th in the red zone, so there's a touchdown upside, and they give up 45 yards, so middle of the pack. Now, I even talked about it in my wide receiver video. Jay Season just has not been able to hit the ceiling yet. And he couldn't do it with DK being the number one guy, drawing the attention. Now, what if Jay Season's the number one guy? He draws the attention. Noah Fant could be in for a decent day, and I'm not opposed to it as a streamer tight end start. Tier 4, it was always Mark Andrews. We talked about the Ravens with Mark Andrews, so I'll throw Isaiah Likely here as my tier 4, number 1. Man, right here, this is interesting, guys. So number 25, Will Dissly. All of a sudden, Hayden Hurst goes down. Monday Night Football, you get the Arizona Cardinals, and Will Dissly has himself a night. And he may be a waiver wire pickup right now. He just had 16 fantasy points, 11 targets, 8 receptions. And if you remember anything about Justin Herbert, he loves his tight ends. So if Will Dissly can lock in this job, he is an absolute steal on the waiver wire right now because he looked at him so many times. Volume is absolute king. He played 73% of the snaps, 11 targets at tight end. I want that all day. The Chargers are going to draw the Saints at home. The New Orleans Saints versus the tight end on the years are currently 17th, giving up 11 points. 17th also in the red zone. And they give up 54 yards, which is middle of the pack there as well. But, man, the volume looks great, and I'm really, really interested to see if we can run this back twice so I can move Will Dissly up my board more. Coming after him is Tyler Conklin, the man that got a free touchdown because of a challenge flag play that wasn't even real. So that moved him up the tight end rankings up to tight end 19. He had a 10-point game, but the volume was not there. Once you have Devontae Adams and Garrett Wilson, it really, really is going to hurt Tyler Conklin, and Breece Hall is seeing a massive amount of receiving work as well. So Tyler Conklin takes a massive hit for me and has dropped down the board a ton. After him, this one's going to be interesting. You got to pay attention to the injury updates. Taysom Hill has been out 2 weeks with the ribs. Don't know if he's going to come back yet. Says he might practice, says he might be back. And if there's no Derek Carr, I might move him up about, I'd say top around Dalton Schultz area because Spencer Rattler's been awful. They could use a bunch of different packages, joker packages, run him everywhere. and get him out on the edge and throw some balls when he's running. It always works for trick plays like that. But I never really liked the boomer bust play of him, but it's interesting to me. And when you're looking at the Saints here, so I have Jawan Johnson also. I'm going to throw him down here in tier 5. The Saints get the Chargers. And the Chargers, this is like the Green Bay Packers to be my explanation. Their defense is top versus wide receivers, top versus the run. They struggle versus the tight end. They rank 21st. They give up 12 points a game to the tight end position. But they do rank 3rd in the red zone. So very, very low touchdown upside. But you also have Taysom Hill's rushing ability down there and a tight end play, which that could help you, if you want to take that joker shot. End of tier 4 here, Colby Parkinson. And I was like, man, this guy with everyone out is going to be focal point. He was always kind of a low floor play. He's averaged 6 points a game on the season, right? If you needed to put in an ugly tight end play, that's what it was. And if I'm looking at it like that, so think about it like this, right? Will Dissly had one good game, right? He finally got the starting job, and right now he's dead even with Colby Parkinson, who's been the starting tight end the whole time. So Colby Parkinson has dropped down my board a ton. I'm not a fan, and Cooper Kupp's going to be back. Puka Nacua activated. He's going to fall off completely. Theo Johnson, the rookie that I keep talking about, that is one of the top 5 snap share tight ends, just can't get involved in the game here with freaking Daniel Jones, man. He absolutely drives me nuts. I loved him out of Penn State, everything about it. The New York Giants are going to get the Steelers, though. And the Steelers, if there is a weak spot to their defense, like we're talking about with the Chargers and the Green Bay Packers, and they're a top defense everywhere across the board, their one weak spot is the tight end, guys. They rank 22nd, giving up 12.2 points. They give up a ton of touchdowns to the tight end position. They rank 28th. And they give up 42 yards, which is middle of the pack. Theo could pop one. Not a safe start. Not at all. I don't like it, but still, you gotta bring the numbers in where they're there. And this is the Steelers' weak spot. So when you're looking at the Chargers for the rest of the way, if you're watching the video right now, you're looking at the Chargers, you're looking at the Packers, you're looking at the Steelers. Very good defenses, but they struggle in the middle. That's something to remember. Coming in 31st, Dawson Knox, the guy that can catch a touchdown anytime, but he's never a startable tight end. It drives me crazy. I mean, I'd rather just see Dalton Kincaid be out there the whole time. But they get the Seattle Seahawks this week. The Seattle Seahawks rank 25th versus tight end. They rank 26th in the red zone, and they rank 60th. I talked about this with Dalton Kincaid. So very, very good opportunity here for the Bills tight ends. This is where Seattle struggles. And last but not least, a guy I just want to see get the job, man. Eric All. I know that he's way more athletic than Mike Gesicki. I know that he's a rookie. I know that he's learning the playbook. I know all that. You get the matchup here. The shootout game that I've been talking about the whole time, the Eagles, Bengals. I cannot wait to see this game. The Eagles are very good versus tight end. They're number 1 on the season. 5.7 points allowed. Number 7 in the red zone. 26 yards per game. Number 2 in that category as well. Their front 7 is their strength. But when you're in a shootout game worried about Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, could be some openings here for Eric All. So I don't like, he's obviously my last ranked tight end at the 32. But I'm just putting him up there because he's some guy I've just been keeping my eye on, kind of like Theo Johnson, and you guys should as well. Because say Gesicki gets an injury or he finally gets a job from him, Eric All was a tight end that fell in the draft because of an injury at Iowa. And you know those Iowa tight ends are good, man. That is the end of the episode. Guys, thanks for rocking with me today, especially if you checked out my kicker, quarterback, running back, wide receiver. This is the tight end. This is the end of my rankings. My goal is to get them to you before every single Thursday night kickoff. So tomorrow will be my stardom, sit-ems, all of them. Man, it's been a long day. Before we head out, guys, smash that like, smash that subscription, turn that bell on. It helps me out a ton more than you guys think. And if you guys can't make any of the live shows this weekend, so I'll be live Thursday to Monday. Again, you can drop any comment you want down below. One of my goals is to answer every single question you guys have, get you that weekly win, get you that ultimate goal of a championship. And that is it for me, guys. I cannot thank you guys enough for all the support across all the platforms, YouTube, Apple, Spotify. It's been an amazing journey. And man, I can't wait to see where it goes from here. And it's all up to you guys, or it's all because of you guys. Thank you guys so much. And I hope to see you guys in tomorrow's video, man. SleezBall out.